Welcome to Global West. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon for more breaking updates. The world's longest undefended border, once a symbol of peace and cooperation, is now a flashpoint for international tension. What was once a seamless crossing for millions has become a line of division, marked by uncertainty and suspicion. On September 11, 2025, a simmering trade dispute finally erupted into a full-scale blockade, pitting the United States against its closest neighbor, Canada. The border, usually bustling with commerce and travel, is now choked by protests, closed checkpoints, and mounting frustration on both sides. The Alaska Highway, a lifeline for the state of Alaska, is now heavily restricted by Canadian authorities. This move comes in direct retaliation for President Trump's aggressive tariffs, which have strained relations and ignited a new era of economic brinkmanship. For Alaska's 730,000 residents, the consequences are immediate and severe. Store shelves are emptying, vital supplies are delayed, and the cost of everyday goods is soaring. Families worry about how long they can hold out as the crisis deepens. American truckers caught in the crossfire are stranded at the border. Many face exorbitant tolls or are denied entry altogether, their cargo left to spoil as days drag on. The economic impact ripples far beyond the border, affecting businesses and livelihoods across the continent. Canada's bold move is a direct challenge to U.S. policy, testing the strength and resilience of a century-old alliance. Both governments are under intense pressure to find a solution, but neither side is willing to appear weak. Prime Minister Trudeau and provincial leaders are betting that targeted economic pain will force the U.S. to reconsider its stance. Behind closed doors, officials debate the risks and rewards of escalation, knowing the stakes could not be higher. The implications of this standoff go far beyond economics. At stake are questions of sovereignty, interdependence, and the very future of North American cooperation. Generations of partnership now hang in the balance. The Alaska Highway, once a proud symbol of unity and shared purpose, has become a tool of economic warfare, a stark reminder of how quickly alliances can shift. Old certainties are unraveling fast in this new era of global tension. Communities on both sides of the border are left wondering what tomorrow will bring. The world is watching closely. Can these two historic allies step back from the brink, or is this the beginning of a deeper divide on the continent? The crisis began in early 2025, when President Trump announced sweeping tariffs on Canadian goods, citing the need to curb fentanyl smuggling. Canada responded with tolls on U.S. trucks, bans on American liquor, and surcharges on electricity exports. Provinces like British Columbia and Ontario led the charge, targeting U.S. interests with precision. Trudeau's government imposed retaliatory tariffs, aiming to hit key U.S. states. The tit-for-tat measures created chaos for businesses and investors, with the Alaska Highway caught in the crossfire. What started as a trade dispute quickly became a logistical nightmare. The Alaska Highway is Alaska's lifeline, over 1,300 miles connecting the state to the lower 48. While most cargo arrives by sea, the highway carries the most urgent goods: fresh food, medical supplies, and vital equipment. Truckers now face massive tolls or outright denial at the border, leaving perishable goods stranded. Alaska's unique geography means there's no alternative overland route. Sea and air are slower, costlier, and not always feasible. The blockade has thrown supply chains into chaos, with warnings of shortages within weeks. Canada's move exploits a critical vulnerability, making the impact of U.S. tariffs painfully real for Alaskans. The Alaska Trucking Association warns of imminent collapse if the standoff continues. For many, this is no longer a policy debate, it's a daily crisis. The highway, once a symbol of partnership, is now a battleground. The blockade sparked outrage in Washington, sending shockwaves through the halls of power. Lawmakers and officials scrambled to respond as the news dominated headlines and cable news tickers. President Trump blasted Trudeau on social media, calling the move illegal and promising big consequences. He accused Canada of overreacting and warned that the U.S. would not back down, fueling tensions with a series of fiery tweets and public statements. Yet, not all Republicans are united. The party is split, with some backing Trump's hardline stance, while others worry about the economic fallout. Senators from trade-dependent states like Mitch McConnell and Lisa Murkowski blame the tariffs for provoking Canada. They point to the vital flow of goods across the border and the risks to local industries. McConnell: tariffs are a tax on Americans. This retaliation was predictable. He urges the administration to reconsider its approach before more damage is done. In Ottawa, Trudeau defended Canada's actions as necessary and proportional, insisting the blockade would end if U.S. tariffs are lifted. He emphasized Canada's commitment to fair trade and protecting its citizens. Canadian politicians across party lines backed the response, seeing it as standing up to U.S. pressure. The rare unity in Parliament reflects a shared sense of national pride and resolve. The U.S. is divided. Some demand a hard line, calling for even tougher measures and warning against appearing weak. Others urge compromise to protect jobs and supply chains, warning that escalation could hurt American families and businesses already feeling the strain. Senator Murkowski voices Alaskans' fears. This isn't theory, it's an emergency. She highlights the real-world impact on border communities and the urgent need for relief. The standoff has exposed deep rifts in both countries, with ordinary people caught in the middle. Families, workers, and businesses face uncertainty as the crisis drags on. The pressure is mounting for leaders to find a solution. Behind closed doors, negotiations are tense and the stakes are high, with every hour increasing the cost. The world waits to see who will blink first, as the outcome could reshape the future of U.S. Canada relations and set a precedent for global trade disputes. The blockade's impact is immediate and personal. For many, it's not just a headline, it's a daily struggle that hits home in unexpected ways. In Alaska, grocery stores face empty shelves and soaring prices. Essentials like bread, milk, and fresh produce are suddenly scarce, and families are forced to make tough choices at the checkout. Maria, a store owner. A carton of milk could double in price. Families can't afford this. For small business owners like Maria, every shipment delayed means more uncertainty and fewer customers walking through the door. Industries like oil and construction are paralyzed by missing parts, risking layoffs and lost revenue. Projects stall, workers wait, and entire communities feel the ripple effects as paychecks dry up. Truckers, many independent, are stranded with perishable cargo and mounting costs. Each hour of delay means spoiled goods and lost income, putting livelihoods on the line. Dave, a trucker: "I can't afford the toll, my fuel's running low, I'm stuck." For drivers like Dave, the uncertainty is overwhelming, and the financial strain grows with every passing day. Warehouses in Washington are backing up, and manufacturers are seeing orders canceled. Inventory piles up, contracts are lost, and workers worry about their next paycheck. The economic pain is spreading far beyond Alaska, threatening jobs across the Pacific Northwest. From bustling cities to quiet towns, uncertainty is everywhere. The dispute reveals how deeply the U.S. and Canadian economies are intertwined. What happens at the border doesn't stay at the border. It ripples through every community, every business, and every household. Policies meant to protect American jobs are now putting them at risk. The very measures designed to shield workers are threatening their livelihoods instead. On Main Street, the cost of this trade war is all too real. For families, workers, and business owners, the consequences are felt every day, in every corner of their lives. At the heart of the crisis is a debate over tariffs. Supporters, including President Trump, see them as leverage to protect U.S. industries and force foreign cooperation. They argue tariffs will bring jobs back and address issues like fentanyl smuggling. But critics, including many economists and politicians, call tariffs a self-inflicted wound, a tax on American consumers and businesses. Senator McConnell: "Tariffs hurt our own families and invite retaliation." Canada's response has made the costs clear: higher prices, stranded goods, and economic pain. The Alaska highway blockade is the ultimate example of blowback. Instead of showing strength, tariffs have isolated the U.S. and triggered a crisis with its closest ally. The question remains: are tariffs a tool for security or a recipe for disaster? As the standoff drags on, North America faces three paths. The best case: Trump lifts tariffs, Canada reopens the highway, and both sides claim victory, restoring normalcy. The worst case: further escalation, more tariffs, broader blockades, and even restrictions on cruise ships, crippling Alaska's tourism. Or a grinding stalemate: supply chains permanently altered, prices high, and the U.S. Canada relationship reduced to managed hostility. The crisis is a stark reminder of how interdependent the two nations are. Every action on one side of the border has immediate consequences for the other. The future depends on whether leaders choose cooperation over confrontation. Restoring trust will require compromise and a return to shared values. The fate of Alaskans and the world's most successful partnership hangs in the balance. The next move will define the future of North America.